Tokyo Ghoul is amazing. Well, the manga is, at least. The anime is just absolutely terrible. Season 1 of the anime is fine. It doesn't change that much from the manga, it keeps the same pace, but Season 2, better known as Route A, is 99% filler. The only thing that actually happens in Route A that corresponds with the manga is the raid of the 20th Ward. And the only part of that that happens in the manga is the fight with the apes, the black dogs, and the owl. Only those fights were actually in the anime. The anime cut everything else out. So right now, I'm going to get into spoiler territory. If you want to go read the manga and then come back to this video, most definitely do that. In Route A, Hide dies, Kaneki joins Aogiri, and we never see him fight Arima. In the manga, none of that happens, and we do see him fight Arima. In the manga, right after the fight with Yamori, Kaneki fights Ayato, which we see in the anime somewhat, but it is nowhere near what it is in the manga. In the manga, Kaneki beats him down. And this is when we get our first glimpse of just how much Kaneki's personality has changed. He beats Ayato into the ground and gives him a little anatomy lesson. He says, the human body has 203 bones. I'm not sure if humans and ghouls are constructed the same, but if all of them were broken, I'm sure you'd die. Bones are symmetrical, so it's easy to break half of them. And so I'm going to break 103 of your bones. This was a side to Kaneki that we never saw in the anime. Right after this fight, we can already see how much his psyche is breaking and that he's already on the path to becoming a Kakuja. This is why Kaneki decides not to return to Anteku with the others. He's seen what the stronger ghouls can do, and he craves more power so that he can get stronger and protect the people that are most important to him. That's his only motive. He never wants to join Aogiri, never does any of that. In the anime, we just see him pissed off at Ayato for literally no particular reason, and he beats him up a little bit. We never see the psychological toll that Yamori had on him. They also, for some reason, in the anime, like I said, had him join Aogiri. In the manga, Kaneki refuses to go back to Anteku, but instead of going to Aogiri like in the anime, he tells the main cast that he's not going back to Anteku, and he makes a team of his own with Banjo, Tsukiyama, and Hinami, where once again, we see how the anime completely changed his entire personality. When Tsukiyama offers to join Kaneki's group in the manga, we see the personality shift in Kaneki, where in the beginning, he was super nice to Tsukiyama, even after all that happened to him, he was still like a little bit respectful to him, just kind of scared of him. Here, and you're seeing it on screen, he says, "You try anything funny and I'll kill you." Keep that in mind. The anime also cut probably the biggest spark in Kaneki and Toka's relationship. In the same chapter as all that happened, Toka says to Kaneki that she wants to go, before Kaneki cuts her off and talks to her about her college, her life at Anteku, all of her normal stuff, before he smiles at her and says, "I'll see you." Then he gets embarrassed and looks away from her, and she gets emotional and runs away. If you watch the anime, like I said earlier, the anime was nowhere near caught up to the manga, so it's not like they were forced to do any of this. They chose to do this of their own free will. And this is now the main point of this video. This is the absolute biggest thing that was cut from the anime. And it happens in the 20th Ward raid arc. And yes, in the manga, it's an entire arc spanning 18 huge chapters from chapter 125 to chapter 143, which is the entire last 2 volumes before Tokyo Ghoul restarts. The anime only had this covered in about 3 episodes with how much they cut out. Toward the tail end of this arc, after encountering Amon, Kaneki is forced to fight him. And during this fight, his Kakuja is released, fighting purely off of his ghoul instincts, because he lost his human consciousness. In the fight, he seemingly kills Amon right after Amon punctures a hole straight through Kaneki's abdomen. Now, after this, Amon goes down, and Kaneki can start healing his wounds. And at this point, his psyche is broken. He starts freaking out about what he just did, and he climbs down into a sewer, where he's then tormented by all of the ghouls that he had eaten up until this point, and his Kakuja starts to break out until Hide comes out of the darkness to talk to him, where he then loses consciousness completely again. When Kaneki wakes up, Hide is gone. His wounds were healed and there's blood in his mouth. He walks aimlessly to reach a clearing where he sees, quote, the undefeated ghoul investigator. This is Kisho Arima. All we saw in the anime of him was Kaneki walking to him, putting Hide's body down, and Arima clicking his briefcase. In the manga, we see a total mountain of ghoul corpses that Arima had already cut down before the fight with Kaneki. And here is when we get one of my most favorite fights in my entire history of reading manga. We get this absolutely brutal fight where Kaneki gets absolutely decimated. This is the first time that we've seen Kaneki lose a fight in the entire manga at this point. He gets his eye stabbed out and his torso run through. And this is where he literally goes insane. And after a few pages of that, which are creepy to fucking read through, and it's even more than creepy, it hurts you. Because at this point, you spent 140 chapters with this character, and you're seeing him break. Then, after a little bit of the insanity, he gets his torso ran through again, and he's stabbed in the other eye, slicing through his brain. This is the final piece of Kaneki that breaks. This is the last shred of the Kaneki that we spent 140 chapters with. He starts having flashbacks of his childhood with his abusive mother. He has a flashback of what really happened that night with Rize. And before he can figure it all out, he dies. Kaneki loses and he heals and recovers, but he has amnesia, which is from his brain literally getting sliced apart. And they come back and they tell him that, oh, his name is Heisei Sasaki. He's a ghoul investigator, whatever. This is, believe it or not, only a few details that are cut out of the anime. I could have easily made a 30-minute video with all of the comparisons of what they cut out and what they changed. If you're still here, seriously, thank you so much. This video, as I said, has taken me hours to complete. And literally, I've been wanting to make this video for about 10 months now, and I only just now sat down and wrote out the entire script for it, because it pisses me off so much that they ruined literally my favorite manga. I had to rewatch episodes, read whole volumes. I even had to break out my physical volumes that are on my shelf so I could quickly just scan through the volumes to find the translations for things. If you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comment section below, and definitely tell me if you'd be interested in a video talking about the cut content from Tokyo Ghoul Re, because if enough people want it, I will most definitely make it. And with all that being said, go follow me on my Instagram. The link is in the description below, and I hope to see all of you in my next video.